Gabriel Morency for Sports Interaction. Well, we've got another wicked weekend of gambling upon us. I don't know where to start. I hope your remote control batteries have been charged because it's go time, baby. Let's start in Indianapolis. Mirko Cro Cop and Frank Mir throwing it down, not for the UFC heavyweight championship, and even the winner is probably still a couple of fights away from finding himself in contention. Now, I love Mirko Cro Cop's right leg hospital, left kick cemetery. Now, I have no doubt that someone's going to end up in a hospital after this, and I guess the fighters will end up in the cemetery if they hit Indianapolis's nightlife after the fights, but that's another story. This is a solid card that the UFC has put together. The main event and a co-main event not getting a lot of mainstream media attention, but the undercard gives us some great value. We've got Matt Serra, somebody that knocked GSP out just a couple of years ago. He's plus money against Chris Lytle. Chris Lytle's an excellent boxer, and his jiu-jitsu has been getting much better. Chris Lytle is capable of submitting you and knocking you out, but Matt Serra is difficult to submit, and he's next to impossible to knock out as well. I'm going to be taking a look at Matt Serra. Now, Matt Mitrione fights against Beltran. Now, this is an interesting fight. A lot of people think Beltran is the worst undefeated UFC fighter in the history of the company. I don't know if I'd go that far. And Mitrione, of course, is the former NFLer. He had a cup of coffee in the NFL. The UFC likes to say former NFLer if you're on a practice roster. But Mitrione was the guy that Endo Kimbo Slices run in the UFC. This is an interesting fight as well. I think the dog is worth a look there. I think the dog is worth a look in the Jeremy Stevens fight. The only favorite that I really like that I'm going to be laying it down on will be Ryan Darth Bader. This guy's a Pac-10 champion. He's an All-American. This guy is a great wrestler, and he's got a wicked, vicious stand-up game as well. Watch out for that right hand. I have all the respect in the world for the Nogueira brothers, but the bottom line is they have a lot of wear and tear on those bodies. And Ryan Bader, this is his time. Everybody talks about John Jones. Everybody talks about Quinton Rampage Jackson. Everybody basically talks about everybody else in the light heavyweight division besides Ryan Bader. We'll be laying the chalk with Ryan Bader. Should be a solid card. Now, the National Football League season, it's amazing. We're already in week 3, and the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings don't have a win. What were the odds on the Sports Interaction special NFL future prop page that the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were both going to be 2-0, while the Dallas Cowboys and Minnesota Vikings would both be 0-2. I didn't see that under the stupid, ridiculous things that are never going to happen props page. Yeah, that's the beauty of football. You got to play the games. Now, I'm looking at the schedule, and I don't see the Dallas Cowboys turning this thing around anytime soon. They get the Houston Texans. Houston, monster epic comeback against the Washington Redskins. They've got momentum. They're rolling back into the state of Texas. Dallas stumbles in there. Now, listen, Houston pounded the Dallas Cowboys in the preseason this year. You say, hey, preseason football doesn't mean anything. Well, Dallas looked terrible in the preseason, and they've looked terrible in the regular season as well. Now, speaking of terrible, how about Braylon Edwards? Braylon Edwards, I hate to do this to a former Michigan Wolverine. Go blue, go blue. But this guy really is a dumbass. Says, why is it an embarrassment to the New York Jets that I got arrested for drinking and driving? It was 5:30 in the morning. You got DeBrickashaw Ferguson and Vernon Golston in the automobile with them, and it's pretty funny that Rex Ryan says that he's benching Braylon Edwards. Well, he won't be starting, and I imagine if the New York Jets get out to like a 21-0 lead or something, then maybe Braylon Edwards gets benched for the game. But if the Miami Dolphins get out to a 7 or 14-0 lead, I think Braylon Edwards will be on the football field pretty quickly. It's an interesting tilt now. They both have great defenses, and I think the Miami Dolphins defense might be better than the New York Jets defense. You look what the Miami Dolphins have done thus far. They've only given up 10 points a game through 2 games, 10 at Buffalo, 10 at Minnesota. This is their home opener. This is an interesting contest. I like the under of this football game. I know it's an obvious selection. This is the Sunday nighter. The Monday nighter, that's going to be going way over the number. We got the Chicago Bears, and we got the Green Bay Packers, and both the Bears and the Packers are clicking right now. I didn't like the Bears in week 1, but they really put it together against the Dallas Cowboys. Are the Chicago Bears that good, or are the Dallas Cowboys that bad? Now, I'm not a fishing expert. I did see Piranha 3D 3D, and I thought the girls are pretty hot in 3D. I'm not a fishing expert, but I know, and I love you, Sports Interaction. I love you guys, but I know when you're trying to reel me in like a big-ass bass. And that's what you're doing to me right now, because I look at the number for the Pittsburgh Steelers Tampa Bay Buccaneer contest, and I want in, guys. I want in. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. How are they going to lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? They're both 2-0. I got to believe that if one of these two football teams is going to be 3-0 at the end of the day on Sunday, it's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers defense can outscore the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in this football game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been the benefactor of a weak schedule thus far. They played the Cleveland Browns. They played the Carolina Panthers. Now they get the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh needs this W. They're playing us against the world to a T. They couldn't be doing it any better. The defense is clicking and crushing. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers in this contest. Now we'll wrap it up with some CFL football as far as the gridiron is concerned. Don't look now, but the BC Lions, they're actually starting to score points, but the Hamilton Tiger Cats got it done last week. This is the time of the year, people, which take a look at underdogs in the Canadian Football League. Teams are starting to understand how important these football games are, and we got a couple of interesting tilts. That Hamilton-Saskatchewan game is going to be a lot of fun to watch, and looks like the Montreal Alouettes going to be just fine now that Anthony Calvillo is back. Sunday night baseball, Yankees, Red Sox. Does it really mean anything? Is it really going to be playoff baseball without seeing someone at Fenway praying like their life depends on the Boston Red Sox scoring a run in the bottom of the ninth inning? Hey, life is all about change, and it's also about laying it down and winning. I'm Gabriel Morency for Sports Interaction. May the winners be yours.